In the 17th century, sailors whispered of a ghostly ship, glowing in the fog, sailing endlessly across the oceans. Those who saw it claimed it was a curse, a harbinger of death at sea. Some sailors would not even speak of it, afraid that saying its name might summon it. This is the story of the Flying Dutchman, the ship that never anchored, and the legend that refuses to die. Chapter 1: Origins of the Legend. The legend begins in the late 1600s, when Dutch trading ships ruled the oceans. Captain Hendrik van der Decken was known as a fearless but stubborn man, proud, determined, and unyielding. He commanded a Dutch East India Company ship on its voyage from Amsterdam to Batavia. One fateful day, as the ship approached the Cape of Good Hope, a violent storm arose. Winds howled, waves towered above the deck, tearing at the sails. The crew begged the captain to turn back, but van der Decken refused. He shouted into the storm, "I will round this cape, even if it takes me until doomsday." And so, legend says, his words sealed their fate. The heavens split with lightning, and the ship was swallowed by the sea. But it did not sink. It continued to sail, cursed to roam the oceans for eternity. Some say God condemned the captain for his arrogance. Others say the devil himself took the ship as his own. Whatever the truth, the Flying Dutchman became a ghost ship, doomed to sail forever, never to reach port, never to rest. Chapter 2: Eyewitness Accounts. For centuries after, sailors from every nation claimed to have seen the Flying Dutchman. They described a ghostly vessel glowing faintly in the mist, its sails full though no wind blew. Lightning would strike near it, illuminating ghostly figures moving across the deck. A British naval officer wrote in 1683, "I saw a ship, aflame in the fog. Her sails glowed red, her decks were silent. As we approached, it vanished, not sank, not drifted away, simply vanished into thin air." Another account from 1881 came from Prince George of Wales, later King George V. While aboard the HMS Bacchante, he recorded in his log, "At 4 a.m., the Flying Dutchman crossed our bows. A strange red light as of a phantom ship all aglow, and immediately afterward, our lookout fell to his death." Stories like these echoed through ports and taverns for centuries. Every sailor knew the legend. Every captain feared the sight. To see the Dutchman was to invite disaster, a warning of storms, shipwrecks, or death itself. Chapter 3: The Curse and Supernatural Powers. The Flying Dutchman was said to carry a cursed crew, men who could never set foot on land again. Some tales said they tried to send messages to the living, bottles thrown from the deck, with letters begging for salvation. Anyone who picked up such a bottle would share their curse. Others spoke of the ship glowing with a supernatural fire, its sails blazing like molten gold, and ghostly music echoing across the waves. There were stories of sailors hearing faint voices calling their names through the fog, and when they turned toward the sound, nothing, only the endless sea. The Dutchman was no longer just a ship, it was a symbol, a floating warning against human pride, and a reminder that the sea never forgives arrogance. Chapter 4: Life and Danger at Sea. To understand why this legend endured, we must imagine life at sea in the 17th century. The world's oceans were vast, unexplored, and deadly. Ships relied on primitive tools, wooden compasses, hourglasses, and the stars. A single storm could destroy a vessel and erase its crew from history. Dutch merchant ships often carried spices and silk from the East Indies, sailing for months without sight of land. The Cape of Good Hope was one of the most dangerous regions on Earth. A graveyard for ships, with unpredictable winds and waves that could swallow a fleet in hours. So when a sailor saw a phantom ship in that cursed place, he believed it was the Flying Dutchman, the eternal warning of what happens when men defy the sea. Chapter 5: Theories and Explanations. Modern historians have offered scientific explanations for the sightings. Some say the ghost ship was caused by St. Elmo's fire, a glowing plasma effect that dances on masts during storms, making a ship appear to burn with blue or red light. Others believe sailors saw mirages or optical illusions. created when light bends across layers of warm and cold air, making distant ships appear to float above the water. There are even theories about magnetic fields near the Cape of Good Hope, which could have affected compasses and disoriented sailors, fueling the belief that supernatural forces were at work. But even with science, one truth remains. No explanation can erase the power of the story. Because sometimes, we want to believe that the sea still holds mysteries. Chapter 6: Pop Culture and Legacy. The Flying Dutchman has lived on through art, literature, and film. In 1843, the composer Richard Wagner turned the tale into an opera, a story of love, redemption, and a cursed captain seeking salvation through eternity. In the 20th century, the ship became part of maritime folklore, appearing in novels, poems, and even modern movies like Pirates of the Caribbean. Its ghostly image still inspires awe, the symbol of the sailor's greatest fear, to wander forever between life and death. Even today, ships sailing near the Cape sometimes report strange lights on the horizon. They call them mirages, but to old sailors, it is simply the Dutchman, still sailing beneath the storm, forever lost between heaven and hell. Epilogue: the ship that never anchored. The legend of the Flying Dutchman endures because it touches something deep within us. Our fear of isolation, our awe of nature, our fascination with the unknown. Whether the ship ever truly existed no longer matters. It lives on in every story told by the sea, every sailor's whisper on a dark and foggy night. The Flying Dutchman sails forever, a reminder that pride and defiance come at a cost, and that the ocean never forgets those who challenge it. So if you ever find yourself on a quiet deck, the sea calm, the air still, and you see a faint glow in the distance, pray that it's only the moonlight. Because if it isn't, the Dutchman is still sailing.